Yes. Today on the Go Us podcast, I got a special young man coming straight out of Ponchatoula, right? That's how you
Ponchatoula,
pronounce
yes,
it.
yes, sir.
Ponchatoula. Sorry
Yes,
about the not knowing how to pronounce it.
no, sir.
Little Louisiana style, little Louisiana thing. Young guy named Cody, special young player, 6'4", and he got a 3.9. So we want to get that out the way up the point, so the coaches can know right then and there what they're dealing with as an academic student. So
Yes, sir.
without further ado, man, talk to the people, let them know who you are, and express yourself right quick, young fella.
Yes, sir. My name's Cody Naziat. I'm a senior currently at Ponchatoula. I just made the all-district team for this past season. And
Clap for that, man. That's powerful.
thank you.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
And I don't know. I've always played basketball since I was a kid. I've always fell in love with the game, and I just want to have an opportunity to continue to play on the next level.
Listen, you have the talent for sure. You have the academics for sure. And you put a lot of those things together. Let's talk about academics, because I think those one of the things that's going to separate you from a lot of guys. Let's give a little bit of how you approach when it came to academia. What was your goal to approach it, and how you took it serious? At what point did you take it serious, or it was something that your parents was a stickler about you being on top of your grades? I mean, how do you get it? Because most kids don't get a 28, 27 on ACT, 3.9. Man, how did you balance, academics and basketball?
For me, it's always come from myself. I've always set high goals for myself. Even when I was younger, I've had good grades starting from first grade all the way till now. I've always prioritized it, and I've also had coaches that have made that a center focus for me, because we always had to maintain a certain level to be able to play, and I always wanted to go beyond that. Just do what I can.
Now, that's impressive. The reason why I said that's impressive, because jocks always get that jock stigma.
Yeah.
And but I think it's because of young guys like yourself that actually take it serious. And you're representing more than yourself. I think every time I wake up every day, I know I'm representing something more bigger than myself. And for you to take that and appreciate that and understand there was times where people couldn't even read and couldn't do certain things, and for you to carry that legacy and have that kind of pride when it comes to academics, man, I think that speaks volumes,
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit about your basketball drive too, man. And where did you get this drive? And let's talk about it, man. Where did your drive come from to want to play on that next level?
It's always been a dream, even especially growing up. But my first few years of high school ball, I wasn't playing much. There would be points where I'd play some because I could always shoot, I could score, but there were other small details on the court that I was struggling with. And my coaches would always tell me this, I got to work on this. And I would try to make that a focus, especially in the off season. But coming into my senior year, I knew I had to make a change. I had to do more than what I've done over the years. And I was able to show that on the court this year.
And that's what seniors are for. Like you say, cumulatively, from your freshman year, or some guys going to schools in the 8th grade from that point. I mean, that's what growth and development is. I mean, life is just lessons and blessings and no real losses. If you put God over everything, then everything is a lesson, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that's my rock. I just learn every day. I think I'm the greatest achiever of all things because I put God over everything. So there's no failure for me, just opinions about what a failure is supposed to be, right?
Yes,
and I don't let it penetrate, my greatest achievement. So then, I mean, it's just man interpretation of what success is. So you had to describe yourself as a basketball player. How would you describe it? How would you describe your game?
I would describe it as doing whatever I need to do to win. I try to do the little things. I'll box out, I'll rebound, I'll make the extra pass, I'll hit shots when I have to. I've been in multiple different roles. I just try to do my role on the court, do whatever is best to help the team win.
Who could be more out of a position than the guys that's 6'4"? I mean, those guys, young guys play every position. You know what I mean? So that's why I think when the guys play, in high school, 6'4", you're everything, right?
Yes,
you got to guard bigs, you got to guard smalls, you got to do everything pretty much. So 6'4" guys. So I already know you like you say, you learned to do everything. But you said something that's very important to me. You know how to make the extra pass. Like right now, I'm working with a bunch of 8th graders, 7th and 8th graders, and it's so funny how they have so much speed and so much this and so much that, but they can't read the defense. They can't make a good pass. And I tell guys, I said the sad part about that is, coaches is not going to tell you when to pass. They're going to maybe tell you a few times, and they expect you to have it. And I just think that when you're a young guy, you're trying to prove yourself so much, you don't pass. So you figure, like, if the ball go in the hoop, I'm good, right? And the coach is like, no, you should have made that pass. Then you're like, yo, coach hating on me. Or this, that. No. What happens is I got to have a guy that can run my plays. You know what I'm saying? Because we could play basketball. I said this a million times. We could play basketball till the sun go down. As soon as a coach show up, now he's the manager of men. He got to try to prove he know X and O's. And some of these some of the coaches today still using young players to try to figure out how to really run schemes. Well, they're not going to tell anybody that, right?
Yes,
so you know, it's just amazing that you understand that. But it takes years to develop and understand how the game is really played. Basketball is a tough sport to the ones that don't know how the game is played. But if you play the game with your eyes, you have solid fundamentals, you make those kind of decisions and know how to move the ball and put the defense at a disadvantage, know how to work for a shot. So, you know, I do a lot of different games that just expose young guys. And it's so funny when you're 18 or 16, 15, that testosterone coming in your body so strong, you think you know everything, you know, and then you're making excuses for a bad decision and you think I don't understand. I've been your age before. You've never been mine. How you going to, you know, make excuses for certain things? But, you know, that's what, you know, being young is, you know, that's what it is. So let me ask you this. What are your strengths?
Especially this year, I've become such a better defender. I've tried to put a lot of my focus into that because that was the main reason I wasn't on the court past years. So I made it an effort to get better on defense.
You know, it's so funny. We hope somebody else played defense. I never was that type of guy. I've always been the type of guy that I just, you know, I come up from a different era. Like, you know, sometimes you get the comparison. We don't have to do it between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. But we came from an era where you can't get yours. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody hit me with a style point. I hit you with style points, step backs. And it's like, who got more step backs? You know what I'm saying? We're like, no, it ain't gonna be no step backs. You feel me? Like we go from an era like, yo, like, so who's shutting down so-and-so? Like if y'all got 2 good players, you don't have 3 good players, you're not gonna win. You understand what I'm saying? Like now we can double team 2 guys, we just can't double team 3. So now that's why it was always like a point where you need 3 guys that can really score. So but imagine it took you almost to your senior year to realize you got to play D. So now you start to understand that habits are very important, right? So now at least you're going into college right now with the point of knowing these are the habits. Like I told people, you can't fool me. Your habits gonna tell me who you are.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Like if we run it, we playing a 3-on-3, and you're so far off your man, I already know you don't know how to play D because you don't have the instincts, you don't have the habits of a defensive person. So I said, get on your man. You still don't know what I'm talking about, right? So it's a little nuances that coaches look for. That's why even like a bunch of kids that same weekend that we have in camp, there's going to be a bunch of kids that's going to go to the circuit and all that. So what happens when you go to the circuit and a coach come to see one kid and that kid disappoints that coach and he walks out the gym? So all you guys on the circuit, what are you going to do? The guy he came to see can't play D. So that's what I told kids. If you don't come to my camp, there's zero politics, right? You're going to come to the camp. You're going to play against quality guys. You're going to have an opportunity to understand where you're at as far as those habits go, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
it's very important. So what part of your game are you working on right now?
For me, a lot of ball handling because that was one of the weaker parts of my game. Sometimes they'd bring it up and that full court pressure would cause turnovers for me. So especially a lot in the offseason, I've worked with like the heavy ball. Anytime I go to the gym, working with the heavy ball, just dribbling as much as I can. See,
and what's so funny, you know, basketball has been developed in stages, right? You had the big man era way back. Then it came to the high jumpers, the Michael Jordans, the Dr. J's of the world. And then we got to my era, which ball handling. And I still like shaking people, right? I don't know if I got it all like I used to, but I still, you can't rip me. That's it. I don't have the feet to hit you the way I want to hit you. And I don't want to mess nothing up. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, hold on, maybe cool. So my point is, then you went into now we're in this new era, which is the jump shot era. But I think what it does is creating more complete players. You understand what I'm saying? So you have a more complete player. That's why people's like, yo, but the players that there is better than the guys was in. All right, but every era had an era. You feel me? So imagine you would have grew up in an era where it was like the opposite, where you had to have the handle. You feel me? Then everybody would have been dribbling. So now everybody takes shots now that can't shoot. You know how many young guys I have to prove to them that they can't hit shots? I say, I'm going to give you an opportunity to prove you're a shooter. I mean, how many of you guys in here think y'all can shoot? All right, so we're going to give you 10 shots and see what you make. I don't make 1 or 2. And I said, nah, you missed those shots with no defense. Then I asked them, how often do you work on your jump shot? You know what their first thing is saying? I don't. I said, where do you get the confidence to take threes? Where you get, like, you're trying to be, think about who you're trying to be. That's like me trying to be a doctor just because I bought a few equipment, And I'm telling you, to be Steph Curry, you would have to go back when Steph Curry started. You feel me? Well, Steph Curry is making 1,000 shots a day. Most people never even took 1,000 shots. So if you're gonna be Steph Curry, you got to make 1,000, which that means you have to take about 3,000 or 4,000. You're a math student. You 3.9. You don't make the 1,000. You feel me? You don't make all 1,000. You know what I'm saying? You might shoot 100. You might make 70. Then you take another 100. You made another 70. You only had 140. You got a lot of shots to be Steph Curry. Like you're more qualified for the bench than you will ever be Steph Curry. Like think about Steph Curry's the best shooter we've all ever seen out of all the shooters in the whole wide world that ever lived. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I told guys, I would try to be somebody else. You had a better chance of being Aisha Curry. You know what I mean? Or Riley. Wow, take pictures, be cute. You ain't gonna be Steph Curry because there's only one Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? So Max, give me a situation where you dealt with adversity on and off the court. You could go with either one first.
On the court, there was a moment in the playoffs last year, and towards the end of the season, I wasn't getting as many minutes as I would like. But coach gave me an opportunity in the playoffs. It was like, I'm going to run you with the starters real quick at the beginning of the second quarter. And I came in, I'm nervous because it's a playoff game. I hadn't been in the atmosphere before. And I came in, my first shot, got a wide open 3. I airballed it. I was like, okay, I'm going to chalk it up to nerves. I'm going to get it back.
No, but see, but here's the thing. Whenever you first get in the game, like you see, I'm at Country Day, right? And I don't mean to cut you off. We're going to let you get back to the story. Not me, the coaches. I tell guys, never take a shot. Don't turn it over. And don't pick up a foul. Because you just became a part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? We put you in now, you making it worse. Because you only, listen, when you play, listen, take this with you. When you get in the game, you approve that when we put you in, are you going to be a part of the problem or the solution? And in most cases, if you do any one of those 3 things, turn it over, take a bad shot, pick up a foul, you made it worse. So what am I saying? Get in the game, feel it, do smart things, simple things, figure out who you guarding. You know what I'm saying? Defense is something you're not going to turn it over playing D. You know what I'm saying? If you pick up that silly fouls, reaching, and sending guys to the line. So continue your story, but you know it now. And I'm pretty sure you know it from experience because you admitting, that you had to find it in your mind. So you missed the shot an air ball.
Now I'm kind of in my head about it, but I'm like, all right, I can get it back. We go down, we get a stop, about a play or 2 goes by, and I'm back. I'm in the corner, and my teammate drives, kicks me in the corner. I'm wide open, so I'm gonna take it. End up airballing again. So now I'm definitely in my head, and it's only about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Coach,
I tell you this, your coach had more belief than you than I probably would have had. Because I'm telling you, 2 air balls in a row. You're really a part of the problem. Matter of fact, you're making it worse. Matter of fact, you're bothering me right now.
He ended up taking me out.
They might get too much momentum off your 2 air balls, man. Come on, man. He got me coaching at a disadvantage.
Yeah, he took me out after that. He talked to me and was like, you got to calm down, son. You got to take your time in it. So I'm thinking, okay.
Let me tell you something. That's all coach's role right there, to recognize those things. And you could get more out of young men when you recognize that what they're going through. But if you just shun them, treat them away, So I'm glad that coach actually took the time out and cared about what you was going through, man. It matters. I tell everybody, every foundation is built off care first. I don't care how much money you involve. I don't care how much money you sink in the project. If somebody don't care, something gonna happen really bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad he cared about you in that moment. So go ahead.
Yeah, and he took me out. So I was ready to go back in, like to kind of make up for my mistakes. I never got that chance, and then I didn't play the rest of the playoffs after that, and that stayed in my head going into my senior year. I knew I had to make a change. I had to do something to better myself and be prepared for the next moment.
Let me tell you something. One of the worst things, that's why I tell a lot of guns, are you prepared for the opportunity when it presents itself? Because you never know. That's why, like, even before you get in the game or once you play college, you have to pay attention to the game, right? See, what most people think, if I get in that score, I'm helping, right? Sometimes you got to get in and make sure you don't make it worse. You get what I'm saying? By playing D, by getting a steal. You understand what I mean? So that's the key to understanding. But I think what happens is guys are not really paying attention to the schemes. A lot of guys is not really in the game and realizing what the coach is saying, because you don't look at it from a standpoint when you're a player. And I remember I used to be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be like, I'm gonna shake my man and get to the back, to the cup, and if they, so I'm just telling you it's good. So like give me the adversity off the court.
So off the court, it was, I believe, 2017. I was in 4th grade, and I had this cousin. We didn't know we was cousins at first, but after, like, we would always play after school because our moms worked together. Okay. So we would play, and we found out we were cousins. So, we started getting closer, and man became my best friend. And then a couple months later, it was towards the end of the school year, and I found out he got into an accident.
Wow.
And we didn't know if he was gonna make it or not. And I just remember waiting that whole weekend, just praying that he made it through. And then Monday came around. I had just got off the bus, and my dad was at the school, and I already knew something was off because he was never up there. And we went into my mom's classroom. And I just saw my mom break down in my sister's arms. They had told me that they had pulled the plug that morning.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's nothing they could do.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. So how you pull yourself out of that? Because that's, for a young guy. You say you was in the 4th grade.
Yes, sir.
And that's like 9 or 10 years old, man. That's pretty. Yeah. For you to survive that, live through that, and yeah, man. I mean, how you pull yourself out of that?
It took a while because as a young kid, you don't like truly understand how much that can impact people's lives and how much of a change that made. But we both love the game of basketball, and always, anytime I step on the court, I keep him in my mind. Even before games, awesome. I would write his name on my shoes just to know that he's always with me.
Oh, you got me on that one. That's tough story right there, brother. You got me on that one, man. I lost close friends as well. So you got me on that one. So let me ask you this. If a college coach asked you this question, I'm going to play like a college coach right now, put my college coach hat on. What would your teammates say about you as a ball player, and what would they say about you as a leader?
They would say that.
This is the type of question they're going to ask once you start getting these opportunities.
Yes, sir.
What do your teammates say about you as a ball player, and what do they say about you as a leader?
As a ball player, you can trust him. You know he's going to do the right things. He knows that he's going to have your back through it all. You make a play, he going to get you back. Like he going to make sure you keep your head up. And as a leader, he's somebody that you can follow, who's going to set an example for everybody, even if it may not be the most popular thing to do.
All right, so that's you as a ball player, right? What would they say about you as a leader?
As a leader, he's somebody who's strong, confident in himself now. He's somebody that is understanding. He's going to keep you in check on and off the court, not just basketball, just in life in general. Somebody that sets goals for himself and his teammates to just try and get better each and every day.
So let me ask you this. If I threw this one word at you, what would cross your mind? What is discipline to you?
Discipline is being able to set standards for yourself and being able to stick to it, even when you're tired, you're fatigued, you don't want to do it. Just being able to keep it in the right mind, just trying to challenge yourself each and every day.
Let me tell you something so funny. I tell kids this all the time. Sometimes when you meet these superstars and these people, and you be like, damn, they be cursing and they be be like, damn, I didn't know they was like that. Yeah. Then I came up with a philosophy that I had to realize. I'm like, they like you, but all you're meeting is their discipline. You understand? You're meeting their discipline. They were so disciplined that's why we admire them. You understand? So now you're like, yo, man, I ain't know Michael Jordan cursed that much. You're like, dang. No, I ain't know he listened to this kind of, so you start meeting these people like, hey, I ain't saying Michael Jordan, I don't want to put nothing on Mike, but I'm just saying like you might meet, people that you always admire, whatever it is, right? And you wouldn't know that you're basically meeting their discipline. So let me give you another word. What is accountability to you?
Accountability, I feel, is also being able to know when you're in the wrong and being able to own up to it, not just placing the blame on somebody. Like if I make a bad play on the court, I'm not going to blame my teammate, oh, you should have caught the pass or you should have made that. I'm going to take responsibility, say, on my part to let them know that it's not their fault and help them get it back.
All right. I normally ask guys to describe themselves or describe their game in one word. Since you're the 3.9 guy, I'm going to say describe it in 3 words. Let's do it. Give me 3 words that would describe your game.
3 words. I'm a dog.
That's 1. Okay. There we are. What's 2?
Determined.
All right. We got 1 more.
And I'm going to give it my all.
Give it all. Try to sit straight in case somebody can't handle you being silent. See if you can sit up straight a little bit. Right there. Because somebody might have been, you ever seen an interview, you'd be like, yo, dog, could he like fix the shirt?
Yeah.
But he don't ever fix the shirt because it's being recorded. All right, so from a college, what do you expect from a college, the university itself, and the coaching staff as well as the head coach? What do you want? If you had to build your own school and build your own coaching staff and head coach, what would it reflect to you or someplace you think you could grow? What would be the behavior? What would the environment be to you?
Like a family, but also not just wanting to build young men playing basketball. I want them to build players who know that there's more to life than just basketball. Like they're also people, and that they can do better for themselves, not just on the court, but also off the court.
So now that you say that, we know what school you want to go to, but we're gonna talk about it because I think it's necessary. It's a target you had on for a lot of years. We're gonna see what plays out after the camp, what kind of what the reality. But I think you're more than qualified to go to Southeastern. To me, I have the coach's phone number and all that now. We're gonna reach out to them. I'll send this interview to those guys as well. But we also want to see what's out there in case, because everything is what you already have the academics, you already been accepted to the school. I mean, I think it's a seamless fit, to be honest with you. I think they could carry 15. Some schools are starting to get JV teams. I know you could play within one of those positions. I mean, even coming there as a preferred walk-on, I believe all that's possible.
Yes, sir.
So I believe all that's possible. So for me, what would you major in? Because you're going to go to college, just like we already know. You're already in school, 3.9, 27. There's so many schools you could go to right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you just was like, basketball, whatever, I'll kill y'all guys in what is it, intramurals. So you're a college student. You're already that. You graduate. What you graduate? When do you graduate?
I graduate May 9th.
All right, so in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. So now, major. Don't take engineering. I'm gonna rob you right now. Don't take engineering.
Nah.
I don't mean to rob you, but go ahead. What you gonna say?
I'm majoring in psychology.
Okay. Now I just seen a commercial. Not a commercial, one of them, YouTube. So you went to school and got a degree in psychology. What you gonna do with that? We already know you're gonna do a lot with that because right now there's a lot of ways they're describing mental health issues there. So why psychology?
Originally, I wanted to do, coming into high school, I wanted to do journalism. Like I took a couple of creative writing courses that they offered. But as I've gotten older and gotten more to my junior and senior year, I've taken a liking in psychology, mostly
The
because
information is so interesting, isn't it? Like,
it's
I got a business degree, but I was fortunate, right? Matter of fact, I'm a little arrogant from all the stuff I learned from psychology. Like, yo, I got words, I got terms that describe behavior. So, you know what I mean? You'd be like, yo, are we that crazy? Like, can we be described that well? You know what I mean? Like, so psychology to me just have like the most descriptive terms of behavior that's like, really? Is that that's what that is? You know what I'm saying? You be hearing, you know, because like when I came out here, you know, I was working with a company. When I was working with the state, it was a program called right after Katrina, and the program was called Louisiana Spirit, right? You know, LA Spirit, Louisiana Spirit, and they made us take like, forget it, bro. Like I was a resource linkage coordinator, so I had to study like so many different type of. Matter of fact, I was reading the DSM book, and I'm like, are they serious? You have these many diagnoses? So we had edition 5. So we actually went to see a gobophobic. I think that's how you say it. Someone that's like, don't want to come out of their house. So we had to do the whole interview on the other side of the door. So he was so traumatized by the hurricane, he was like, I'm not coming out. And I read that in the book, and it was like, oh yeah, you have I hope I'm saying it right for the aficionados that know, but it's not how you pronounce that. The person that's stuck in the house that don't want to come out again because there's that much trauma. So I just think that the information is like, I wouldn't say easy read, but it's like interesting. Like when you start reading that stuff, you be like, I might be a little so and so. You know what I'm saying? Or they are. So I just think psychology is like, you know, counsel, you know, all of those things are just like, just the terms to me is just like interesting. Like when I realized the clear difference between a sociopath and a psychopath, once I realized it was a psychopath is born and a sociopath is made. Like that's the you know, that's the interesting thing about psychology. Like they're breaking down human behavior, which is to me like everything, you know. So you know, when you know those things, that's why sometimes, you know, I could go back and forth with people about those kind of things. So great major, man. Do it, get it done, learn the new terms, be patient, you know, try to get it all understood. So look, I'm satisfied with the interview, how it's going so far. Let's talk about family life right quick. So they can have an idea, you know, and let's talk about family life and then how you heard about the camp. Let's do those two things. Let's knock that out. And I knew you before I knew you. And I told you how, like, I had you on my phone. That's why, like, God is super amazing. I was like, Cody, Anthony Davis camp. And I was like, how long was that? You was like, yeah, I probably was like 10 years old. I had that phone. I had that number. And I was like, because when your dad called me, I was like, Cody was good. He's like, no, Cody is my son. And I was like, who's Cody? You know what I'm saying? From the Anthony Davis camp. So I was on the coaches there. So, but good. Let's talk about family life and how you heard about the camp. Either one, either order, don't matter.
All right. Family life. I love my family. I stay with my dad. My mom stays close to Covington, but I'm always, I can talk to them about anything.
Nice.
I can text them at any point if I have a question about anything, and they just love me unconditionally. And then I got an older sister and a younger brother, and you know I'm the middle child, but I also feel like I'm my brother's keeper. I'm a role model for him. I gotta teach him as a young man how to be better than what society wants for you. Just trying to help him as he grows up.
You said that was so much, like you say, so much gravitas, so much, what is the word, sincerity. You said that like he was like, yo, this society, I gotta make sure he good.
Yeah.
You know? That's powerful. That's very powerful. You know, and so how you heard about the camp, Go South Unlimited?
My dad was scrolling on Instagram and an ad for it had popped up. And then
Paying for that ad too.
he saw the ad, and I think he had recognized the number. And when he had called you, he realized that you knew me back from the Anthony Davis camp when I was younger. It's just crazy how things come full circle.
You didn't have dreads then, I don't think, huh?
No, sir.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, yeah. So because I think he was on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I think they gave us like a little team or something. Yeah. And I remember that, man. There was a few young guys in there cooking. So any of the young guys that had the talent, I took their number, you know, in case they want to come out and train, so on and so forth. So I had your number on my phone for a long time, man. That was a long time. Yeah. So Anthony Davis been on the Lakers for a good while. I'm saying he's been on the Lakers for a good while. Yeah. So matter of fact, he won a championship. That's been a while. Like I think the pandemic and all that hit already, right? Yeah. He was on the Lakers on the pandemic. Yeah. So man, look, man, I'm satisfied with the information. So your approach to the camp. There's any questions that you have for me about the camp, about Gulf South Unlimited, any of those things?
I don't think so. I think I'm good. I'm just ready to play.
You're ready to play, man. That's how most guys. That's the sentiment most young guys have. They're ready to come. They're ready to play. And yeah, man, let's do it, man. Well, all I can say is, man, go you, go me, go us. Thank you for the opportunity, young fella. Say that last name one more time, man, because I know it's up there, but we all like, what is that? How you say it? Cody?
Naziat.
Naziat.
Yes, sir.
Your dad said it a little different. Naziat?
Naziat.
Yeah, well, what kind of last name is that?
It's Arabic.
There you are. Arabic. You know us out here, we just go grass Creole. I don't know what it was. There you go. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you again for the opportunity. And we're gonna put it together. We're gonna create a few snippets, send it out to you, man. We're gonna post it and we're gonna send it with your film, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cody in the building, man. I see you on the 26th, man. Let's get it done, man.
Let's
play hard, play smart, and play well with others, man.
Yes, sir. I
got you. With the mentality. Thanks again, man. Be safe.
No problem.
One love.